Bouldering's always been kind of underground here and sort of protected and kept secret a lot of times. It's kind of come out of hiding here in the woods as the sport has become more popular and as outdoor activities become more popular.
It's been expanding and expanding, and it's great to see all these new areas still show up around Central Oregon.
It's just become kind of a thing that is acceptable out here. So there's less hiding in the woods trying to rock climb, and there's more of a community now that's kind of built around the sport.
The depot is a north-facing, shady basalt cliff band right along the Chutes River.
So you're just climbing next to a river, which is kind of rare for rock climbing.
Lots of like high, really kind of scary boulder problems with just flat landings, so you can try really hard when you're up there.
It's amazing. It's probably my favorite place to climb around here. The problem I'm doing today is called the Red Moon. It's pretty much a culmination of like all the things I love about climbing around here. It's overhung, it's bulletproof rock, and it's pretty powerful. And it's tall. You start on a ledge that's about the height of your head, and you go into a series of kind of slopey side pulls and some really bad crimps. And then you work your way up the arête, and it kind of finishes around the side. Basically, the hardest part is bumping around the right side of the arête.
So the problem that I'm climbing today is bloody knuckles. It definitely is a little crack where you start with your hands. I start crossed. Definitely get that bloody pinky. And then bump to a small crimp, bump to a big crimp, and then come out to this big hold, another crimp, and then there's like no feet, so you're kind of like mirroring, kind of find a little foot, and then another big ledge. For me, it come up and match, pocket, top, and it's done.
See your fingers.
The boulder I'm climbing today is the Big Easy at the depot. It's V1, and it's an ultra classic at the depot. I think the first line that I climbed when I first went there. Pretty awesome. It's all big holds and just having fun to the top. So last part you feel a little bit high up there, but it's all there. It's really good.
Sitting by the road, looking for a ride home. It was milepost 12, and I was all alone. Sun beating down on the back of my neck. Oh Lord, let me find a peaceful place to rest. I was too far from home. I gotta get back to Oregon. Too far to roam, trying to get back to Oregon.
This problem is called the Wizard. It's a V7 over here at the depot on the Deschutes River. Lower half of the problem is all water polished, and through the middle you got a transition of crimps and a lot of tension until you get to the upper half with this cool vertical rail with some jugs up there to the top. Today was the first time I've climbed it. I've always wanted to save this climb kind of for a special moment. I don't know why, it just felt right.
This problem is called the river dino. It's this beautiful problem right on the side of the river. You can just hear the rapids going in the background and just shut everything off, and you can just try really hard. It's that beautiful. Just like pure bouldering, grab 2 big holds and huck for another big hold, and then it's over.
When we say that we're human, it's usually in reference to how weak, how we fail one another, or how history repeats.
Tick Ranch is a nice little cluster of boulders beneath the cliff. Seems to be pretty spread out, but the concentrated stuff's really good.
Today I'm doing Split Brain. It's a V7, was done fairly recently actually, and it's basically hard couple crimp moves, funky heel hook to a big move, and then kind of an airy top out.
Would you like to come with me to the stars? We'll go far in our own way. Would you like to come and see all my dreams in my heart with your own eyes? Trust me, take my hand, hold on tight. I know everything's gonna be alright. Wake up in the morning, my baby, smiling with the sunshine, my heart.
Today I'm climbing Clark's Scoop. It's a V5 out here at Tick Ranch Boulders on Tumble Creek. It's a really neat kind of overhanging scoop problem. It starts with some crimp moves and you move out to the left to the lip and do a neat sequence with heel hooks and some hand bumps, and then it's kind of an exciting finish where you have to kind of reach around the corner and grab the back of the boulder real quick. Hope your heel doesn't pop.
Why you asking where she's been?
climbing community in Bend is rad. I love them.
The crew is amazing, the community.
The Bend scene is rad. It's a bunch of locals, and it's really small, it's quiet, and
I think it's fun to see the crew of people grow.
people here are just down to earth and rad.
Yeah, everyone's like very friendly and open to having everyone out all the time. Even if you climb like V1, like V10 climbers are psyched to get you to join. And
we are bouldering in Central Oregon. These are the Widgie boulders. I'm about to do the brain, which is a fun warm-up. Good holds, good feed, everything's right there. And it's just tall enough to be a little bit exciting.
This problem is called Lord of the Flies. It starts about a head height, 2 opposing crimps. It works through this basically 5-degree wall on these opposing crimps. It's super technical. The hardest part about the route is just keeping it together and bearing down on those crimps. They're a little painful, especially in the hot sun. And in my opinion, it's definitely the most beautiful route at Widgie.
Forklift operator, I've always had in my mind that it's a problem where just grab one small right hand hold and just punch it to the lip. Pretty sharp holds on it so they catch well on the hands, and I'd say the difficulty in it is once you latch that little right hand hold, it's snagging the lip, which kind of slants to the left. A lot of people will get tossed out to the left.
Captain America is like a pretty high problem. It's V4 and consists of like some pretty committing moves over what's an okay landing, but you're relatively high up, so it's a little scary for sure.
Today I'm going to climb Woodgie Face. It's a technical face. It has a really good movement to it and flow and not too bad of a top out, which is always nice. It gets like a little bit thin. You have to do like kind of a match move and then kind of like huck and commit to the top of it.
The broken bow, nice rounded out arête, has gone through a little bit of history of breaking, so as I climb it, I pass some scars where there used to be some pretty good holds, hence the name, I think. Reaching around a blunt arête, I use a big heel hook, some people don't. As you leave the early feet, it's pretty blank for the feet. You gotta, for me, get the heel up real high and helps me get up. Top out can be a little spicy. Great problem.
This route's called the Widgie Traverse, and it's, when you think of Widgie, it's kind of the route. It took me probably 3 years to even complete. When I come out here, it's pretty unlikely that I'm actually able to do the route. So I'm usually trying way too hard and yelling way too loud all the time. It's really beta intensive, and also a lot of the way it works is you're engaging your core more than you would ever expect to. I use all sorts of tail hooks on this thing, and then it's slopey, and me and slopers don't go well together, as everyone knows. So yeah, just keeping it together, and the continuity is probably the main crux, just being able to link from point A to B. Well done. Sorry, I didn't mean to scream. You should make sure you edit out that scream.
I love that we have so many places right next to town. We can jump out after work and go get some sessions in.
There's a good diversity of rock, from basalt to volcanic.
We're surrounded by rock, and the quest is always to find areas of concentrated climbable rock, and there's quite a bit.
It's a great setting, great temps this time of year.
The rocks are in neat places in the woods and along the river, and just great problems overall.
I love how there's little zones, little pockets and spots you can meet.
Because it's not very well known, it gives it a sense of purity in itself.
The holds here are pretty unique, and there's a lot of like slopers with no friction, and then just like really in-cut crimps that are really fun to just pull on.
There's a lot of hidden boulders. There's a lot of really good gems that like sit out in the open that nobody knows about, and it's really fun to go find those, climb those.
Probably the best thing about climbing in Central Oregon is that there's always been an open window for adventure and discovery.
It's not a destination zone, but the best times I've ever had climbing has been in Central Oregon.
Meadow Camp's always been actually my favorite spot. It's the first place that I came to when I moved to Bend. The setting is beautiful. It sits right on the Deschutes. Little by little finding out about the history of the place and some of the climbs that have been done in the past. It's always inspired me to climb here.
The problem is called Soul Train. It's in the Meadow Camp area. It's rated V8. A couple technical pocket moves to a really dynamic throw to the lip. And then you have a pretty committing mantle at the top. It's hard, but it's fun. It's a very consistent climb. It's literally 4 holds, and it's like, here you go, grab these 4 holds, and that's all you have. It's pretty straightforward, but it's hard. Like, there's one way up the rock, and that's the way up.
The stars above us in the sky, the bright lunar lights in Gemini, and it's so full. A rush of sensation flows through our spines, centering the universe is right in line, and everything feels fine. Emerging resonations awake in time, splurging in temptations we're not behind, and time stands still.
The problem I'm climbing is called the serendipity principle. It's V4, and it's a lot of fun. It climbs up in a rut and around the corner to the right of that, and ends with kind of a scary reach to the lip, where if you fall, you're gonna fly down around the corner and land on an uneven landing below.
If I could hide deep in this bottle, like hands on a throttle, your drink of tomorrow, sip sorrow, sip sorrow.
Ground check, V5. I like this climb because it was the first one that caught my eye when I moved here. It sits just off the water, and it's this overhanging, obvious arête that sits right off the trail with a really fun, dynamic move to the top. It's definitely one of the classics here.
Can I do that over?
Yeah.
Let's see. Tell me when.
So can I just re-answer that question? Yeah. Okay.
Charlie, go, buddy. Why am I your best friend all of a sudden?
The problem I did today is called ground chuck, V4. Oh wait, no it's not.
I really like Central Oregon, sorry.
This is hard being on camera and having to talk. It sucks.
I can do that again.
Let's do that again. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Hello. Yes. Okay, you need to go away now, okay?
See it? It's a fat dog.